Some bonds last a lifetime, and a few even beyond that. It's a fact easily seen in the lives of Carol and Joe Alberstadt.
For better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health. Many have exchanged those vows, but few have lived them the way Carol and Joe Alberstadt have. They were married for 54 years, had 2 children, and shared countless memories. But 30 years ago, things changed.
It started out with, he was like tripping over his own crack in the sidewalk. And then he was diagnosed with MS. Turned out it wasn't. It was a rare form of Lou Gehrig's disease called PLS, but it basically had the same properties.
Carol said the disease caused their routine to gradually change. They started running their business from home and modified their house. A good attitude, seeing the humor in things, and being able to adapt helped them. Carol shared many stories about helping Joe. One she remembered most was the time when she helped him get back into bed after he'd fallen out because he sneezed.
You had to laugh at those things. You can't. Now, I could have called somebody, but our motto was, his motto, we can do it. So we did it.
The family hit another bump in the road in 2001 when their son Don was hospitalized in a coma for 6 months. He passed away 2 years later. But to the couple's other son, John, his mom's perseverance through all of this was not surprising.
She always was strong anyway. She always worked, so it wasn't like when my dad lost mobility, she was dependent on him or Medicare or whatever. She always had her own business, and so it's just one of those things where the situation lent itself to working out.
Up until the very end, the couple traveled and made their winterly trips to Florida, encountering countless strangers who were willing to lend a helping hand. Carol described those instances as a silver lining.
It was not bad. Sometimes things, it was the worst thing that could happen to people, but then you have to think it might have been the best time, because how could you have met nicer people like that?
Joe used to play a certain song for Carol.
And you're always there to lend a hand in everything I do.
The Wonder of You by Elvis Presley. Joe told Carol it summed up what she was to him. To this day, it brings a tear to her eye, yet it also makes her laugh. It reminds her of the first car she bought after Joe had passed. The salesman was explaining Sirius Radio when...
First one he pulls up was the Elvis radio station, and guess what song was playing? The Wonder of You. He's in the back seat, and we both go, whoa! And the salesman said, like, what's the matter? And we said, well, you have to know the story. And I have never heard that song on that radio station since.
If you ask Carol, she'd say she doesn't even know why she was nominated for this award. She was just doing what she had to do for the man she loved.
To me, it was like no big deal. It was our way of life. That's life, and we have to treasure it. So that's what we tried to do, make the best of it.
It's for better or worse, and we're not sure how much of each we'll get. But by finding the better through the bad, Carol and Joe Alberstadt found the spirit of courage.